Hi guys, Andy N, the amazing, and she is amazing, cider drinker turned fantastic poet, Yvonne Reddick. So straight over to Yvonne now, and I'll be asking about gin later on as well, because I didn't know you're into your gin. So over to you, Yvonne, with your poems.
Here's the first poem in my collection, Muirburn. My father weighed a little less than at birth. I carried him in both hands to the pines as October brought the burning season. When I unscrewed the urn, bone grit and chaff streamed out with their gunpowder smell. I remembered the sulphur hiss of the match, how he taught me to breathe on the steeple of logs as the kindling caught and flames quickened. That night, in sleep, I saw the forest clearing by the moor's edge and the ring of his ashes. A skirl of smoke began to rise, bracken curling, a fume of blaeberry leaves. Ants broke their ranks, scattering, fleeing, and a moth spun ahead of the fire wind. I took the path over the heath at a run. A voice at my shoulder said, "You'll inherit fire." And through the smoke I saw a line of figures beating and beating the heather as the fire front roared towards them, a volley of shouts, "Keep the wind at your back!" My grandmother threshing with a fire broom, Dad hacking a fire break, my stillborn brother now grown sprinting to the hollow where the spring used to flow, the whole hill flaring in the updraft. And there, a girl running for the riverside. She wore my face, the shade of ash.
Ooh, yeah, excellent. Excellent stuff, that one, Yvonne. I love what you're reading. You can feel when you say it in there. It always adds different. I think when poetry is well read, it adds a very different dimension to it too. What do you think when you hear yourself reading poems back sometimes? You think to yourself, wow, it sounds different to the way I envisage it on the page sometimes.
It does sound different. I think it helps me draft, actually. Do you do that, Andy, when you're writing? Do you read things aloud? Good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. I'm always recording myself after I've done them that way, and it gives it. I'm really very much performance poet, really, or was anyway, certainly. Like, is a really good storyteller with that, doesn't it? People say that to me when they hear me, and they can really hear it in my words afterwards, and particularly I'm running up and down stage screaming. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So, anyway, back to you with piece number 2.
So I'm going to read you my poem, The Gift. You know, there are all those poems about picking up a pen and actually beginning to write a poem. I'm thinking of Digging and The Thought Fox as well. This is my rather dark and peculiar version of both of those poems. Now, this is the link between an ordinary plastic pen like this one and the oil industry. And I think, yeah, I've managed to try to get quite a few images out of the humble plastic biro, The Gift. I wanted to write Speak, but it wrote Spark. Loaded with cartridges, it rested on the desk. No one dropped it or chewed the tip, but its tactics grew underhand. I tried to write Je suis européenne. It spoke for itself. Je suis iranienne. I unscrewed nib from body. Inside a pipeline of what stirred in the Cretaceous, freighted and volatile. Oceans, continents shifted. The drill bit woke it to burn. Liquid to solid carbon black, changing state back to ink. Indelible blots. My hands smudged shirts, doors, tables. Each murky finger mark printed a tiny globe. Fuel lines from Persian Gulf to Gulf of Mexico. A newspaper flapped to the doormat, slicked gull's wings. Everything written in fire and oil. I tried to sketch a cottage, so the gift drew smoking rubble. A blazing refinery spoke to my line. Thank you for this beautiful waterman pen.
Fantastic. Oh, wow. Yeah, you got, again, it showed him when you're reading there, it's very, it feels different a piece to me there, it does. And that one, definitely. I'd love to see you do an audio book of this book sometime. Definitely, right? And
Oh, thank you.
Get all these like wishing sounds of nature blowing in the background or something, or you're to disturb people. Sounds of dying seals. But anyway, that's a story for another day. No, definitely not tremendous stuff. Anyway, okay, listen, I'm going to shut up babbling. I know you're onto your big conclusion for this now. Over to you, Yvonne, for your third piece.
The flower that breaks rocks. He introduced his daughters to Ben Nevis. You take the bearing line up the arrow? Pointing to Moonlight Gully buttress, -1 gully. We didn't care until Dad found us a saxifrage. Its blooms were spokes of the North Star. Saxifrager means rock breaker. Nivalis, snow saxifrage. Dainty alpinist, chinking her roots into fissures and toeholds like crampons in fractures. But I see now what she could only glimpse, that she and the other alpines, rose roots and pearlworts, are scrambling skywards until all that remains for them is cloud.
Brilliant stuff. Great way to wrap up that today, Yvonne. An absolute pleasure. It's such a good book, honestly. And people say I say it all the time, but I don't. And this is a tremendous book. And I was actually clean forgotten of on this. Actually, it's technically got debut full-length collection, isn't it? So
it is, yeah.
And that's why, because I've known you for a couple of years, like you've done a number of chapbooks before it. It's still must have really weird for you, I've said before, bringing out a full-length book after a couple of excellently real chapbooks. So does it feel like it's, before we wrap up, does it feel like a weight off your mind now, thinking like a relief in, oh wow, it's out?
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, I think the build-up's been quite long, really. I was thankful to do those chapbooks because you get a bit of a practice run, don't you? You get to see what works, what doesn't, and you get practice putting poems together. So I've been thankful, but it's a combination of real joy, thankfulness, because people have been very, very kind to me. They've helped me with my poems, and that's a wonderful thing. And I'm thankful to my editor as well, of course. Elements of trepidation, really. You kind of think, ooh, what's going to happen now? But yeah, I'm really pleased.
Well, good luck with the book, definitely. It's been a pleasure. So, like I said before, like people wondering, we've not met yet, but I know I'm going to definitely try and get down to your reading in September in Bolton, because Bolton's my old stomping ground. So I'm going to get there. So anyway, guys, I want to thank Yvonne today. It's been a pleasure. An absolute pleasure, this one. So. Yeah. And so that's it for another episode for today now. As Don Callis over at AEW Wrestling says, stay safe and most importantly, stay damn over. We'll see you all next time.